everyone, it's Kelly here from YourVA, and today I'm joined with Caroline, who's one of our specialists here today. Caroline, do you want to give us a little bit of an introduction about where you're from, when you started with YourVA, your career to date, and your area of expertise?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Caroline. I'm from Manchester in the UK originally, but I've been in beautiful Canterbury for 20 odd years now with Tim, my man.
Awesome.
We live on the Banks Peninsula, so we're slightly up the hill, not on the flat of Canterbury.
Nice and sunny.
Yes, it was raining this morning, but when I was walking the dog, it was raining.
Oh, you're
But
committed.
now the sun's out. I've been with YourVA since November 22.
Wow. Yeah.
And my area of expertise, in a nutshell, I'd say is logistics.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in event management, international conference manager, front of house in a hotel. So in a nutshell, it's logistics, but it's with event planning thrown in as well.
That's awesome. I used to work front of house at a hotel as well. That's where I started. That was my first job.
Oh, mine was a long time ago, but there's a lot of moving parts in a hotel.
There is. You've got to be good at organizing. So what does your day-to-day working life look like when you're working for YourVA?
Well, I'm an early bird. So depending on who is doing, we have a beautiful rescue dog called Maggie. She's 15 this year.
Yeah.
And when we took her on, we promised her 2 walks a day because she's a dog and she 2 walks a day. There's only Tim and I at home these days. So so depending on who is on the morning walk will depend on how my day pans out. So if I do the morning walk, then I will obviously come back, get ready for work. I always get ready for work. I always like to be Zoom ready, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who's going to ask you for a Zoom, and then I get to my office and I'm really disciplined, and I will do everything that's required. If I'm waiting for answers, I might log off at mid-afternoon and then come back into my office and do a couple of hours work in the evening, because you don't know when people are going to reply to you. So it's a little bit of a jigsaw, but yeah, it's pretty standard every day. I'm always in my office. I like to make sure I log off in the evening, otherwise you're always on duty.
Yes, that's something I'm learning at the moment, is like self-control, to not, there's always going to be something to do. I've got to switch off, but it's just so hard.
It's really, really important, and it's a really good, mentally, it's really good to get into. I close my office door, turn the light out, log off, shut down, and I'm off duty.
Yeah.
Apart from when I've forgotten something and then I have to scramble back in and remember and log back in.
And so what projects are you currently working on?
I am working with YourVA clients who want anything from one-day workshops, training days, conferences, or all of these things. Actually, they involve the same logistics, just some of them on a bigger scale. So I'm just helping people plan events and just source venues, working with the venue, whether they include catering, so either finding caterers or finding audiovisual companies if they're non-in-house. And just really, communication is key, keeping in touch with our clients to let them know the progress I've made. And so as I say, conferences is the biggest scale, but everything else still involves everything the same.
Yeah. And do you find, this is actually off topic, but do you find that ever since COVID, there's more virtual events? Because I've heard there's a lot of businesses moving towards offering like online events rather than doing it actually at a venue.
Absolutely. So nearly all the events that I work at, depending on the subject, we would offer a hybrid event. So meaning the opportunity to offer them a Zoom as well. It
Cool.
doesn't work with every conference, because
Mhm.
some conferences, they like to split out into breakout rooms, which is
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah.
Some of the topics are quite sensitive, and they go into sharing areas, and so they're quite private and personal. So not
Yeah.
all of them works like that, but yes, I think you'll find that certainly a lot of international conferences, so the great big pharmaceutical companies, etc., they are now doing it all virtually from the old days where 40,000 delegates would turn up in a city for an international congress. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting, how times are moving.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to businesses within your area of expertise?
Oh, well, I would say to anybody, if you employ anyone at YourVA, we are specialists
Mhm.
and experts in our own fields.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you employ us, it would free up so much more of your time as the client
Yeah.
to then go and be amazing and be the expert that you are in your own field. That
Yeah.
would be what I would say.
Yeah. And I think that goes across for almost every part of business as well. And I find it really interesting, like, because I've obviously got my own business too, and it's really hard to, when you have your own business, to actually trust someone else, because it's like your baby and you're passing over something that's really important, and it is so hard. But it's one of probably the best things you can do, is just acknowledge that with YourVA, we do have the specialists, and they're specialists for a reason, and they're amazing at what they do. So I love that piece of advice.
Well, I totally agree, because I think YourVA have done all the hard yards for the clients. They've whittled out you and myself and chosen to take us on to be the experts. So they've done all the interviewing of the 40 candidates or whatever. So it's a win-win, I would have thought.
The best of the best we are. So say our clients are short on time and could do with a quick win. What's one action that they can take today that they may not know about that will save them so much time?
Well, we're virtual, okay? So we're all virtual. We're all in all parts of New Zealand in our own little home offices. And what is incredible these days, in my opinion, is the free software or free websites that are out there that allows you to communicate virtually without clogging up your inbox with emails, or having to or sending WhatsApp messages, typing in messages. I use Trello personally, and I absolutely love it. I just find it absolutely incredible. But I know there are a couple of other similar platforms, but it's free. I can't believe it's free. It's a life changer for me. It's changed everything.
What do you do through Trello? Like, do you use, what do you put through there?
I would have a Trello board per client, and then I would have lists per client, and I've got checklists on there. So I try and be paperless. So if I need to run a conference, I will copy over my conference checklist, and I will do it all electronically. And then you can tag, you can assign jobs or communications to your client, because you invite them to share your board, and they can see what's going on. They can look at the Trello board at any time to see where we're up to, or if there are any questions, they're all on the board and they can just reply straight on the board.
Amazing. So it's all together in one place. That's awesome.
I love it. I love it, but I haven't investigated any other platforms. So I do believe there are some similar ones, but I would highly recommend it. The automation buttons, I'm such a nerd when it comes to things like that. I sit for hours and look at what they're capable of. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. And so what do you love most about working with YourVA?
What has surprised me so humblingly is how real and how super friendly, and I think Justine and her management, There's no stuffy hierarchy. They are so supportive.
Yeah.
They if there's a query or a question or anything that you're unsure of, again, we've got a virtual message board,
Mhm.
and you can send them a message and they will reply or phone you. They're just really real, and it is humbling. They're amazing.
Yeah, I
I love the
totally
fact
agree.
I'm really blown away by how normal and supportive is what I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good work environment, hey.
Really good.
And so can you give me a personal and professional win that you have had recently?
Oh, personal win. Well, I love I love gardening. I've got 2 glass houses, and it's now
Amazing.
September. And so I've recently started a little gate stall for plants,
Oh,
because
wow.
I spend all my summer walking up and down the road giving away my cucumbers and my chilies to all the neighbours.
Oh,
And I've always got excess plants that have self-seeded or whatever. And so I've got a little gate stall, and I've just got all my plants all lined up, just getting used to the weather now to go out on the
yeah,
stall in a few weeks. So for me, I love it. I
that's
paint my
awesome.
signs. I absolutely love it. It keeps me busy.
That's amazing. I actually started a veggie garden in January. It's very basic, but I've got like lettuce and rocket, and I tried to do some sweet corn from seed. So I'm like trialing that at the moment. But I did bok choy, which I was surprised about, from seed, and I was like, great. So yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
It's so rewarding.
It
It's
is.
just
It makes
so
you feel so
rewarding.
wholesome when people come around and they're coming around for dinner and you're like serve a salad and you're like, oh, that spring onion I grew and that lettuce.
There's something really, it's a great feeling. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And what about a professional win?
Or I, oh, well, recently one of my clients was hosting their first big conference since COVID.
Yep.
And so it was a really big thing for them. The COVID hit and everything went on hold.
Mhm.
And we were able to get the conference back up and running. And I went and volunteered I called myself a runner, whether I was getting coffees or running with run sheets and things. And I went down, and I felt really, really good for doing that. I felt really happy with myself for going and volunteering, to go and help them, just as an extra pair of hands, really, because they'd put in so much hard work.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and that was down in Dunedin, and it was a amazing event.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And I'm sure it ran more smoothly with you there with your expertise as well.
Or no, the girls did a great job, but I am available to travel to events if needed,
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
because
Oh,
sometimes our clients who organize the conference want to be in the conference,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
and so it's always good to have somebody outside the room on the welcome desk or on the registration desk, sorting out all the little bits that need sorting out, so that the clients can go in and listen to the conference.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, well, it's been so lovely to talk to you today and get some insights. I've written down Trello and I'm going to go and see if I can use that as well, because I've been looking for a system and it sounds like that one would be so perfect for me. So yeah, I know I might be sending you a message later being like, what do I do?
It is super user friendly. I just can't believe it's there for us to use. I
Great.
love it. I've got lists everywhere. I use it in my personal life. I use it in my business life. I use it for everything.
That's just amazing. It sounds a lot like me, but yeah, thank you so much. And if
Oh,
anyone is watching this and needs a bit of expertise from Caroline, then send us a message, because yeah, she's a specialist for a reason. So thank you so much.
good to see you, Kelly.